What is up, everyone? We are just getting started now. So give me a second to get everything set up. And we will get started. Like usual, we are going to be streaming in the Black Belts group. And that's where I'm going to be answering questions. So make sure you don't actually ask them on the Kevin David page, even though that's where a lot of people actually do ask them. Let's make sure that we are asking the questions in the Black Belt group, which is our private group for all of our amazing students. So let's make sure that we ask them there. So I'm about to share my screen into the Black Belt group, and then we can get started. So a couple of updates for the students. We are finally officially announcing NinjaCon. That's all I'm going to say about it right now, because it's mainly for the students right now. And then if we have any space left for the meetup in Paradise, then I will actually announce it publicly to the large group and things like that. But for now, it's only for students. I want to keep it small. I want to keep it intimate, right? I want to make sure that everybody has the chance to meet everyone else and really make it a truly valuable event. And if there's too many people, then it's sometimes hard to do that. All right, so we're officially live in the Black Belt group. So I'll wait for some people to actually start asking questions there. I want to make it public on YouTube as well. So now we are live everywhere. Welcome everyone to another super exciting Amazon FBA Ninja Q&A, where I'm going to be answering all of my students' questions in the Black Belt group. So there's almost 1,500 of us now, which is crazy. I remember when there was just only a few, and now we have so many people, and it's just so much love in the student group. I really appreciate you guys so much, and I love answering your questions. It's so fun for me, just figuring out, because once you kind of know something really well, it's hard to tell what is still confusing to people and what's not. And so it helps to see your guys' questions so I can know, what I need to teach and what I need to be better about. What's up, Bing? You're the first person here in the Black Belt group. What's up, One Up, Sean? Come into the Black Belt group and ask questions. Don't ask questions on the Kevin David page. Come to the Black Belt group, because it's hard for me to tell who's a student and who's not on the Kevin David page because there's so many people who ask questions there. It's a little bit difficult. What's up, Britt? Come to the Black Belt group. Everyone, please. And if somebody that's watching right now could help kind of direct people from the Kevin David page to the Black Belt group, that would be very nice because it makes things easier for me. Alrighty, I'm looking for the first question. I think PPC is the hardest to understand. What's up, Micah? What's up, Roll? What's up, Arun? I haven't seen your name in a minute. Bro, your Amazon course was so good. Thank you. You're welcome, Vanessa. What's up, Sue? What's up, Matt? Oh, you like this beard? I know. I decided to keep this beard until I leave for Melbourne. I'm leaving for Australia on the 11th, and I'm going to shave the disgusting beard at that point. Arun, it's good to see you, man. I miss you. I agree with One Up. You need help with PPC. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can talk about that. Just ask specific questions, and I'll answer whatever you guys want to hear. Veronica, what's up? Thank you so much for helping all of our students with shipping. For those of you who don't know, we have some freight forwarders who are so amazing. They give us the best prices for all of our students, and it's just really amazing working with them. What's up, Emily? What's up, Brad? What's up, Terry? What's up, Sue? You look Aussie. What up, Nick? All right. So everyone's asking questions. What's up, Sue? You look awesome. What up, Nick? I gotta mute this really quick. It's good to see you, Mohammed. Waiting on that Shopify course. Yeah, so I haven't actually announced that I'm even making that, to be honest, yet. But I'm almost done with my the skeleton of my Shopify course. It's gonna be by far the most comprehensive available. I've went out there and I've bought all of the other courses that people have just to see kind of what they're offering and how detailed it is and things like that. And really, there's no course out there that gives you everything you need to create a Shopify store from scratch. But there will be one soon, so stay tuned for that. What's up, Joe? No, you guys aren't in the black belt group right now. One up. This is the Facebook page. What up, Bjorn? Okay, I'm going back to the black belt group. We have about 50 people watching in the black belt group, so people are starting to sign on now. About GS1 barcodes, is there any way to still use UPC barcodes from Nationwide? So yes, I'm still using Nationwide barcodes until Amazon literally does not let me press the submit button. Like once they stop allowing me to create a new product by clicking submit with Nationwide barcodes, I'm going to keep using them because in my opinion, there's no way in hell that they are going to actually retroactively apply some type of GS1 barcode restriction to a catalog of 20 million products. There's just no way that's going to happen. They're eventually, I would think now, going to restrict new products being added without GS1, right? But there are little ways around it. You know, there's a GTIN exception. There's ways to not use UPCs if you're brand registered. You can do it by like other means. And so we'll talk about that when the time comes. But for right now, I'm still just using Nationwide barcodes until they stop me from using them. Did the storefront URL blow up or is it still working? Bjorn, unfortunately, yeah, too many people found out about it. One of our students actually told me that somebody shared it from one of our groups into a larger group. So we gotta, when we find and figure out things like that, we got to keep it within the family so that we can, use that to our advantage. If we share it with too many people, sometimes it makes it not work because if too many people know, then Amazon finds out and they shut it down, right? So a lot of the really secret stuff and the stuff that, can get you to page one fastest and really, really works, I share only with my students, just for people who are watching on YouTube. That's kind of the difference, right? Because if I share it on YouTube, if I share it for everyone, then it just won't work. And so some of this stuff I try to keep a little bit more in the Ninja family. And so when we do find things like that, we have to count on each other to really keep it within the fam, so it stays working for longer, right? And so, thanks, Britt. What's up? One up. You're in the right place now. Brittany, if you can help other people get here, I would be appreciative. I still see a ton of people asking questions in the wrong place. Like Sue, come into the black belt group. You're on the official Kevin David page right now. I dig the Ali poster. What's up, Tomas? What's up, Brian? I see a few people sign on YouTube now. Are we going to have access to the Shopify course or at least a discount? I'm currently finishing my store. Yeah, absolutely, Bing. I haven't decided what the pricing is going to be right now, but I'm assuming it's going to be similar to how the Amazon FBA course is priced. All members of the Black Belt group, all members of the current student fam, right, for the Amazon FBA course will get. I'm thinking a 50% discount. So I think we're gonna launch the Shopify course for $9.97, just like how all of my courses will be. And I know that's a little bit more expensive than what other people have, but I feel that the content that I'm creating and the level of detail and the level of like real implementable, actionable hacks is just so much more advanced than some other courses out there. So I think it justifies maybe being a little bit more expensive than some other courses. But yeah, all of my current students right now, you guys will have at least a 50% discount on all of my future stuff. So I try to incentivize and reward you guys for joining the Ninja fam when I was when I didn't have as many people interested. So I want to always give back as much as I can, and I think the Shopify course will really help people, right? Because I get the question all the time that says what should I do, Amazon FBA or Shopify, right? And the answer to that is you shouldn't do one or the other. There's enough time to do both, because once you kind of put the upfront work into Amazon FBA, there's kind of like that lag period where your units have to be made, right? And then your units have to be shipped to the USA into a fulfillment center, and that lag time is perfect for Shopify, right? Creating like a completely separate business, whether it's in the same niche or not, it really, there's enough time to do both. And so when people ask me, should I do Shopify, should I do Amazon FBA, the answer is you should do both, right? Especially if you want to leave your full-time job. Because if you want to make a full-time living selling online, the best way to do it is to kind of diversify and create multiple income streams, whether that's from a Facebook advertising agency, a Shopify store, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, right? The more you learn, the more you earn is, a cliche, but it really does make a lot of sense. And, I'm trying to educate people as much as possible into what they're, what they want to learn about and what they're good at, and so people can really start to, make as much money as possible. All right, I'm getting so many notifications. It's actually kind of hard to figure out. Yeah, I know. No Shave November is a little bit early right now. This is actually the longest my facial hair has ever been. I know it looks terrible right now, but I'm gonna let it grow out until I go to Australia. Thank you, Britt, for being the traffic cop. I appreciate that. What's up, Jillian? How do I predict the sales volume for seasonal or holiday products? For example, Valentine's Day, wedding season, and such. When these products have basically no sales data to look at the moment. So Google Trends is a good way for sure, but the best way is using Camel sales charts, right? So you can tell from a sales chart when the BSR spikes, right? When you see the BSR go high, it means that their BSR is getting better and better, and then you can kind of look at the months and the leading months up to that, that spike in sales, and then you can kind of associate that with a seasonality. Right, and so that's how I do it. That's how I go over it in the video, in the course, teaching people how to kind of take advantage of Q4 trends. But there's also Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving. Right, there's a lot of different seasonality trends that you want to be aware of and use to your advantage in the best way that you possibly can. 1 second, I'm trying to share this live video one other place, but it's not working. All right, here we go. Sean, Sue, Josh, I still see you guys commenting on the page, so come to the Black Belts group. A lot of people are asking questions in the right place now. Britt or whoever, can you please help get people into the right place? Just so I want to make sure that I answer every single person's questions. And I want to make sure that I get all of them. So come to the right place. And I promise I will answer all of your questions that I can. 1 second, guys. I'm going to grab water really quick. All right. How has your strategy changed when optimizing now for the 250 backend key characters? So this is a good question, Bentley. And the answer is you just have to be a little bit more choosy with which keywords you actually put into your backend, right? So before, you could try to index for as many keywords as you possibly could, and that was a good strategy. It made sense, right? Because then you could get organics reach for 5, 6 keyword long strings. When now you have to be very particular with what you actually put into your back end, right? So what I like to do now is use a word frequency counter, right? So you can make a huge master list of keywords that you're extracting from AMS, from merchant words, from all different types of places, right? And what you can do is you can use a word frequency counter. So let's say you have 100 different terms, right? But it should be more like 1,000. You put all of those terms into a word frequency counter, and it'll tell you, hey, let's say it's a garlic press. It'll tell me out of all of those keywords that you used the word garlic 500 times and press 400 times, right? So you want to make absolutely sure that the words that are repeated over and over and over again in your keywords are represented in your back end. And so that's kind of the way that I like to do it now. Before, you just wanted to put like as many keywords as you possibly could, try to index for as much as you could so you could get kind of some of those low-cost, long-tail keyword sales. But now you just have to be a little bit more careful about it. Adding to the Q4 to Q1 transition, any tips on product research? Should we wait till Q4 skewed numbers die down? Yeah, that's a really actually important point, Bjorn. So how I interpret this question is when you're doing product research during Q4, you want to actually be careful, right? Because sometimes you can see hugely inflated numbers and like Invest go all out, right? So let's say that you're doing product research during Q4 and you see, okay, this product's selling like 100 a day. Maybe I should buy 5,000 units to try to like do inventory forecasting, right? When really it's only selling 100 units a day during Q4, right? So you have to be kind of cognizant of doing product research for new products during the Q4 period, or else you could see skewed numbers where really like the representation of actual sales is much higher during Q4 than it is throughout the year, and so you don't want to have a bunch of sitting inventory when really if you're doing your inventory forecasting in a way that is cognizant of Q4. then you would really not buy as many units. And so the way that you kind of do that, again, is with Camel, 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 especially with a product that's been around for over a year. You can see, okay, they're selling this many more units during Q4 than they are during Q1, Q2, Q3. And so then when you're doing your inventory forecasting, you're not going to buy some crazy amount of units thinking that it sells Q4 numbers throughout the entire year. Transitioning out of Q4 to Q1, right? So there's actually kind of a weird sales trend that happens right after Christmas. Because what happens is people will get all these gifts, right? And let's say that, I don't like the gift that I'm given. I'm going to return that, and then I'm going to use the money from that return to buy what I actually want. And so you'll see actually a big sales boost for certain categories, certain product types, right after Christmas, because people return all the crap that they don't want, and then they buy the stuff that they do want with that money. And so it's actually kind of a strange thing. There's a huge spike for Christmas. It kind of goes down right after Christmas, and then once people kind of have the time to return the stuff they don't want, then there's another little spike for certain product categories when people are buying the things that they actually want. Do you recommend launching a product in the middle of Q4 knowing sales are way up for all of your competitors? This means that your giveaways need to be way higher than normal. Any advice in launching a product during Q4? Yeah, this is another really good question and an important question, Bentley. The answer is yes, I absolutely do. Right? If that's your only option. Would it, in a perfect world, would you rather launch your product right at the beginning of November? Yes, absolutely. But don't wait until like next year or anything like that. It's not like, there's no disadvantage in having a product live during Q4. Q4 is the most beautiful time of the Amazon year, right? It's just unbelievable for a lot of different categories and different products. You're going to see a 10 times sales increase, right? There's been days that we've made just really insane amounts of revenue that, is very representative of the Christmas time, right? The last second shopping. One of the accounts that I own is very gift centric. And so, during Q4, during Mother's Day, during Valentine's Day, during the kind of, popular holidays, it really, the sales numbers are just much, much higher. And so it's a beautiful thing. Don't ever think that you shouldn't launch a product during Q4. Again, in a perfect world, you would want to launch it before Q4 to kind of ramp up in a way and do your giveaways in a way and launch your product in the way we teach to get to page 1 before you actually have to do like a million giveaways to actually get there. But that being said, right, never wait. The time is always now. What's up, Josh? I see you're in the right place now. What's up, Sean? Nice. Thank you, Britt. I appreciate you helping me get everyone into the right place. When PPC, manual brought and auto brought no sales and I did back-end competitor words to get top words, do I up my bid real high so I win? Could you clarify what you mean by that exactly, Aaron? Like down below? I'm going to move on to the next question, but I'll come back to you. Will the Shopify Ninja course be coming out before you leave for Australia or when you get back? The answer is before, Sean. I finished the outline today. How I like to create courses is kind of gather all of the information from everywhere, like all the tips and tricks, all of the best, actionable hacks to like really increase your traffic and sales and profit and, all of the different things that go about creating a profitable business. I like to collect it all in one place, then kind of take a minute to really organize my thoughts, organize it in a very methodical way. And then once I do that, really that is the thing that takes the most time and the most effort and the most work. And once I have that skeleton built, all I really have to do is sit down and record everything, right? And so I'm halfway done with the Shopify course, and I promise you, Sean, you personally, I will launch the Shopify course before I leave for Australia. Exactly what I'm thinking about dropshipping in between lag times. What's your super high level dropshipping model? Free plus shipping, AliExpress to world, one US to US suppliers. Yeah, so I mean, the beauty of dropshipping is with ePacket, you can ship anywhere in the world for 12 to 20 days, or 12 to 30 days, right? And especially, there's a few other restrictions for ePacket, right? It has to be under, I think it's 4.4 pounds, and the product value has to be less than, I think, $400. I have to check on that, but I'm pretty sure those are the restrictions for ePacket. But ePacket ships anywhere, and since there's such a huge quantity of ePacket shipping from China to the USA, normally your ePacket is actually much faster to the USA than to like Czechoslovakia or something like that. And so I've dabbled in all of the different models, Elliot, whether it's free plus shipping, AliExpress to the world, right? If I'm doing USA to USA, I don't do as much. I usually just use AliExpress. It's by far the most mature model, right? And with Oberlo, it's just so simple. You don't even need a website if you don't want. Like, one of the things that I'm going to show how to do in my Shopify course is how to just use ClickFunnels, right? Just a simple sales order thank you page. And just really automate everything. You can use Zapier, you can use Orderlytics, right? And I'll show exactly how to, run a completely viable drop shipping business only using ClickFunnels, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But let's talk about Amazon for right now. Hi, Kevin. What is the lowest you have paid per item for shipping to an FBA warehouse? That question is a little bit hard to answer, Alfie, because it really depends, right? Because I've shipped containers, right, 40-foot containers, completely full to the brim of products, and so the per unit cost is obviously much lower than if I was like shipping like something via air for a small for a small shipment or something like that. So it's very hard to compare apples to oranges in that case. But I can guarantee you this: our freight forwarders are giving you the best prices you can possibly get for per kg for shipping via air, and CBM for shipping via sea. So you don't have to worry, right? And if you are worried, get quotes from all three of our independent freight forwarders that I share with you guys, and choose the one that's lowest. But I promise you, you're not going to find a lower price than our freight forwarders are giving you with the level of quality that you're going to get from them. You're just not going to. I've looked everywhere. I've contacted everyone, and these are the best freight forwarders around. What's up, Josh? I see you in the right place. How many weeks do you typically spend on product research before pulling the trigger? I feel you can end up spending an infinite amount of time on trying to find the perfect product. This is a fantastic point that's very, very important, Preston. The answer to this question is, I will find a product. This is how I personally do product research. I'll grind all day and all night on product research, right? I'll find 50 products and I'll start eye tracking them. And then once I know their actual sales numbers, right, after like 3 to 7 days, whenever you find the pattern of actual sales, then you can narrow that 50 down to 20 or 10. And then from those 10, right, then I'm looking a little bit deeper into the competitive landscape. I'm looking how I can actually add value, whether or not there's actually suppliers there. I'm getting quotes to actually see my profit margin per unit after I get shipping and cost of goods sold quotes. And then maybe I'll narrow that 10 down to 5 or 3, and then I'll launch all 5 of those products simultaneously. And that whole process takes me between 1 and 2 weeks to actually get all of that done. And now I mean, like, the 2-week mark, I've finalized my purchase price with my suppliers, right? And I'm ready to roll with all of those products. Where can I get tools like video ads and others to promote your FBA course? Tomas, you can message me. I share my some of my premium ad copy with my top affiliates just to like reward them for how hard they work. Some of my affiliates are making have made $50,000 profit, so they've been working extremely hard and they deserve that money. And also, while they're making $50,000 profit, they're simultaneously helping other people, right? Because if there's no reason to promote the course unless you believe in it, right? And so if you believe in it and you know that it's helped so many people in the past, and you think that it's going to help other people, then promoting it makes a lot of sense. And if that's where you're at, then shoot me a message. I'll get you the premium ads. If I find something on Alibaba for $5, how much do I need to sell on FBA? 15, 20 or more if it's a standard size under 2 pounds. Well, you have to take into account how much it costs to ship, right? So if you're shipping like, something that's really big, even if it's light, then it's still going to cost money, because shipping is not only about the weight, but it's how much volume it takes up. So, some of my most profitable products, my landed cost is like under $1, and I sell them for 15 or 20, right? And so I like to have kind of a 5 to 10 times multiplier is normally good, but you can use the Amazon FBA fee calculator to get a really good idea. Once you kind of know how much it costs for cost of goods sold, once you kind of know how much it costs, just an estimate, and how much it costs per unit for shipping, then you can tell a lot, and you can see your profit margins like very, very easily. Do you recommend starting my next product during Q4 or waiting until 2018 at this point? Yeah, I mean, you can start your next product, Jillian, but just be careful, that you're not seeing very inflated sales numbers. Um, and because, like I was saying before, you don't want to, take it you don't want to go in, do product research during Q4 and see, wow, this looks amazing. And then, like, for 9 months of the year or 10 months of the year, realistically, it's not doing that well. So you need to be careful doing product research during Q4. Britt, I still see a couple people in the official Kevin David page. If you wouldn't mind helping get them into the right place, I want to make sure that I'm answering every single one of my students' questions, and I still see the questions being asked all over the place. All right, so if I need to give away 30 plus products a day to get to page 1, what is the best way of doing that to make sure that I actually give away the 30 plus products? Matt, so I mean, the best way is the black belt group. Nowhere else do you have, a team of people that's going to really go the extra mile for you, do manual keyword search giveaways like how we discussed in the product launch module, that's really going to, launch your product in the best possible way. But there are services like Viral Launch. There are services like Jump Send that you can use as well. That really, if you need just a higher volume than we're able to actually get from the Black Belt group, then you can kind of do both, right? Maybe you're giving away 20 with Viral Launch and you're doing 10 a day in the Black Belt group with the Ninja Fam, right? Because nowhere else are you going to get people who are actually going to type in your search terms, scroll to your product, and buy. And that is the number one way to get your product to the first page the fastest, right? How scaled was your Amazon business when you started using VAs for grunt work? I started very soon, Britt. I think something that people undervalue often is your time. And I know it's hard to kind of to have that balance at the beginning, because when money's a little bit tighter or you're not quite making as much, it does kind of hurt paying a VA or paying an assistant or paying an employee to help you with certain things. But if you can find the right employee that you trust, right? Some of my VAs now, I talk to every single day, all day, right? And I trust them very, very completely. Whatever they tell me I owe them, I trust them. And I really, they've proven to me that the work they do for me is worth much more than what it costs from my perspective. And so when you can find employees who in saving you time and money are really producing more than what you're paying them, then it's not a cost at all. It's really just a value add. And so if you can find virtual assistants like that, then I would hire as many as you can possibly rationalize, because you're going to save time and you're going to save money. What do you think of the new opportunity score feature on Jungle Scout? Accurate or not? 1 second. The opportunity score should be taken kind of with a grain of salt, in my opinion, right? I think Greg and his team are very intelligent. Greg and I have a video series coming out in the next week or so, going through PPC, because I was getting some requests to kind of go deeper into PPC. And so who better than the CEO of Jungle Scout to really create a series on everything PPC from the beginning. So we're going to do that for you guys. But I mean, to answer your question, the opportunity score in Jungle Scout is a good basic estimator, right? And that's the end of the usefulness, in my opinion. No offense to Greg. It's better than anything else out there, Jungle Scout by far. No one else has the same opportunity score. It's very hard to, use an algorithm and a set of code to make a blanket judgment on every single product on Amazon, which is the millions, right? And so they've done a very good job of, trying to simplify that. But there's no replacement for human ingenuity and understanding kind of the competitive landscape, right? And so if you really understand module 1 on everything product research, if you've watched all of the videos in that, you will have a much better. Your opinion will be much stronger than what the opportunity score is telling you. So it's a good complement, but really, you can never replace your personal knowledge, what you've learned, human ingenuity, right? And so don't just go out there and say, oh, well, it has an opportunity score of 10, so I'm just going to go all in on it, right? You have to kind of use your own judgment as well. Hey, Kevin, you mentioned some of your top affiliates are doing 50K. Are they using ClickFunnels and FB ads or YouTube videos or both together? Yeah, they're using all three, right? So if you have an affiliate landing page on ClickFunnels, then you can retarget people based on, which URL they visit. So maybe they came to one page but not quite to the next. So you can retarget them, remind them, hey, you showed some interest in this, want to check it out again, right? And so people who are really mastering retargeting, who are mastering, YouTube videos, using high quality YouTube videos with, good camera equipment, mics, editing, they're very enthusiastic. They really provide value with what they show about the course, and, utilizing and leveraging their pre-existing audience, right? Knowing how to promote a video on YouTube through YouTube ads and through, search engine optimization for YouTube videos. The people who are combining all three of those are really, those are the ones who are making 50,000 profit from the affiliate program. And pretty soon, after I finish the Shopify course, I'm going to raise all of my affiliate commissions forever to be 41%. That will never change. For every single course from now on that I ever create, it will always be 41%. And people are doing insane numbers right now, and it's only 25%, or it's a generous 25%, but really the most generous people in the industry anywhere are doing 40%, and I'm going to make every single one of my courses a 41% commission forever, for the rest of time, right? And so once I finish the Shopify course, I'm going to do a very, very in-depth dive into, advanced affiliate marketing on YouTube. And so I will share that. And it's really the people who act on that quickly and, are creative in their own ways to create, and add value by affiliate marketing, who believe in it. Those are the people who are going to make a ton of money. So stay tuned. It'll be fun. Referring to the question above, how do I make sure I give away 30 or more products per day for a week? Should I use Viral Launch or JumpSend? So I answered that already, Bing, but basically what I said was I use, if I have to give away a ton of units a day, then I'll use Viral Launch in unison with the Black Belt group. There's no better way anywhere, trust me, I've looked, than the Black Belt group for giving away products in a way that gets your product to page one the fastest and stay there, right? Because not only do you get really legit reviews with pictures and photos and videos, but people are searching for your product via your highest traffic keyword, scrolling, clicking, and buying, which is, to Amazon's A9 algorithm, that's the number one indicator that your product should be on page one organically. And when you can maintain a page one organic rank, that is when the true beauty of Amazon FBA shines through, right? Because then you're not paying for sales, you're just cementing your place on the page one search results for the highest volume traffic, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of searches per month in certain cases, depending on your product, right? But if you're on page one for the highest volume, most targeted keyword, all of a sudden you have a bunch of 5-star reviews, beautiful photos, right? Exactly how we teach, then you can stay there. It's a snowball effect. It's very hard to get to page one in certain cases, but once you're there, right, you can stay there forever. And that is the people who are making, a ton of money on Amazon, not needing a huge PPC spend just because they're organically already there. My product is coming to the USA this week in a container and next week to Amazon. Do you know when they will ask me to pay for customs, and how much would that be? Sue, you should communicate with one of our freight forwarders on that because you want to make sure that you're doing that right. And I don't ever touch any custom stuff because there's just no reason to. It's all very complicated. There's all different types of forms you have to fill out, and that's really the freight forwarder's job to make it very easy for you so you can focus your time on the more value add areas like finding new products and things like that. So just reach out to one of our freight forwarders that I share with all the students, and you'll be fine. What's up, Jillian? I see you in the right place now. What food items need special testing? Just baby items or plates, glass, bakeware, or inspector checks food safety? So, the answer to this is I don't know. There's a million different products on Amazon, more than a million, obviously. And so every single time that I'm going to, invest in a new product, like I tell everyone, right? What you should be doing is you should be, reaching out to Amazon seller support via chat and show them a competitor's ASIN. Be like, hey, I'm thinking about selling this exact same type of product. I'll tell Amazon seller support, and then I'll say, is there any type of restriction or gating or anything that I should be worried about? And they'll either tell you, yes, this is a gated product, or no, it's not. And they'll also, email you a transcript in writing telling you that, right? And so it's very nice when you have Amazon telling you for sure whether or not something is actually, restricted in any way. because you don't. The worst case scenario is you invest in some lockpick sets, right? And it looks fine. Other people are selling it, right? And then you get your units arrive at Amazon FBA, and then all of a sudden you have 500 units that you can't sell because your listing gets shut down. So you want to be really careful about that. But normally, anything that's anywhere near a baby's mouth needs special, certificates and things like that. So the answer is you want to, be better safe than sorry. Reach out to Amazon seller support, and you will, not be having any surprises where your stuff is showing up to an Amazon FBA warehouse, and then you're actually not able to sell it. So nobody wants that surprise. So be on the safe side and ask seller support. It's not that hard. I was wondering if I should try to get in another product during Q4 or wait for early 2018. So if you've done your product research now, Jillian, then the sales numbers, the sales numbers won't be too obfuscated. So if you've done your product research, you've done your due diligence, you've gone through the 6 steps of product research, you've used the Ninja checklist, then you have a very good idea whether or not that's actually a good product. And so if you have that already done and you feel that you're ready to invest in it, then I would not wait at all. So right, it's October 23rd now, and so unless you fly it in via air and you have a super short manufacturing time, you're not actually going to get it here before the Q4 craze starts to happen. But don't wait till 2018. You can get the ball rolling now. You can get things in action, right? Because these things take time, so there's no reason to wait. But I wouldn't at this point expect to get it into Amazon before Q4 unless it's a small order. There's basically no manufacturer's time, or you're shipping by express air, all of which those things can cut down on profit margins. Kevin, what if my supplier cannot/does not provide a box design PSD file? Can I still find a designer on Fiverr to make a design for me based on only box dimensions? Is this advisable? Yeah, that's not a terrible thing at all, for sure. I've done that in the past before I really understood kind of how it worked, because depending on what the dimensions of your product are, obviously you'll have box dimensions that are commensurate with that with the dimensions of your product. So if you have a huge product, obviously you'll have a huge box, and so you want to get the specifications of the size of your box. And then any reputable designer on Fiverr or Upwork or wherever you find them can make the ratio of the design for a box very easily in Vector, which is scalable, right? So let's say you have a box that's let's just use easy numbers. It's 2 feet long by 1 foot long by 1 foot long, right? He can use he can create a vector file that has the ratio of the sides as 1 to 2 to 1, and then you can scale it up and down, and then you can add your logo to it, and it's very easy. So it's not a huge deal if your supplier does not provide a box design. You can make it for yourself. You just need to know the sizing. I literally came onto Facebook after going through your YouTube to look for a video Nick Bosch said you were posting regarding your day-to-day living. And here you are on my live feed. Haha, where can I find it? I actually haven't made a day-to-day living video yet, but if people are interested in it, I can talk about what I do from day to day. When I'm not traveling, I'm much more boring. But if people are interested, I'd be happy to go over that. Hi Kevin, I just joined 2 days ago, going through hours of material every day. How do you recommend getting started as a total beginner? Should I watch all videos first or not? Also, do you offer one-on-one coaching? Yeah, Fernando. So how I recommend going through is watching, I recommend going through the entirety of Module 1, right? So if you go through all of Module 1, everything about how to do product research, right? How to, identify products that are going to be non-seasonal, right? And you want to make sure that you catch products on the upward trend and all of these different metrics, right? If you watch all the way through Module 1, then I would go out and I would try to actually put these into action, right? I would go on Jungle Scout, I would go on the bestsellers list, I would go through the subcategories, I would look through everyone's storefronts, and I would find, 50 products where I felt good about them, and they seemed like they could be promising, and then I would start to narrow those products down, right? If there's anywhere I needed to go back into Module 1 to do product research, to be like, he did say something about looking through subcategory lists, bestsellers, right, hot and trending, all of these different things, then I would go back and revisit that. But I wouldn't recommend going through the entire course before you actually start doing product research, because it's just a little bit overwhelming for any amount of knowledge in this sense, right? So I would definitely recommend going through module 1 and then doing product research. And then when it's time for finding a supplier, I would go into module 2 and I would watch the videos about suppliers. When it's time to figure out shipping, I would go into module 2 and I would look about shipping, right? And so you kind of want to do it methodically. I would not do the entire kind of course all at once, because it might be overwhelming. And one of the biggest parts about being an entrepreneur is kind of maintaining that focus, right? That laser focus of what is most important now, and not ever allowing yourself to get overwhelmed, because it's very easy to feel overwhelmed when you are an entrepreneur. That's why most people are employees for their whole lives, right? Because it's much, much easier to have somebody just tell you, hey, Kevin, do X, Y, and Z, and then you can go home and do whatever you want, right? It's much easier to have somebody tell you what to do. It's much harder to figure out what is most valuable for your life and your business by yourself, and then, structure your time and structure your day to kind of move towards those highest value activities. So never let yourself get overwhelmed is kind of the moral of the story there. Thanks, Kevin. Also, your video about creating your dream life was great. Glad you made it. Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. It's a very interesting duality, because I created my YouTube channel because there's so many people out there who just talk and never really show you anything of value, but there is kind of two sides to the coin. To even if you have all the knowledge in the world of how to implement, how to create an online business, if you don't have the motivation to do it, right, or you don't know what makes you happy, you don't know what makes you feel fulfilled, you don't know what you want to do, then it doesn't really matter, right? You need both. You need to know what makes you happy, you need to know what's important to you, and then you need the knowledge to actually move closer to that goal, of your dream life. So it's kind of a, it's a synergy between the motivation and knowing what's important to you, and then using kind of the implementable, actionable, knowledge to kind of get closer to what actually makes you happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of the first time that I made any video like that, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. That video took me longer to make than any of my tutorials, because I wanted to make sure that I was giving kind of the high level stuff, but also making it as actionable as I possibly could, because creating your dream life is kind of hard to give a tutorial about. So I hope you liked it. Thanks, Kevin. Do you have any good person for LLC? Yeah, I mean, to make all of my LLCs now, I use Wyoming. I use a service called Buffalo LLC Wyoming. If you use Google search Buffalo LLC Wyoming, you'll find it. It's very easy. It's like $149. They give you an LLC. They give you a registered agent, so you're kind of anonymous with your LLCs. They give you a mail forwarding. They give you all this type of stuff, and they give you your articles of incorporation pretty much immediately. And it's just so incredibly easy. And so I use Wyoming for all of my LLCs now, and they have very preferential rates as far as state income tax and things like that. So that's what I use. Sue, hi Kevin. It sounds like you should call her. Thanks, Alex. That's another conversation that might probably need to have. Hola, Kevin. When doing the iTrack method, some products show you only have space for XX products in your cart. Does this mean that they have more than 999 products of inventory? It could mean that, yeah, Andrea, but it could mean something else. So when you're doing your iTrack, right? So let's say you have 10 products in your cart. Then you want to make sure that all 9 of those products have one quantity in their cart, right? Because if you're just checking this top person, because sometimes when I just started, I'd forget that I had 500 in my cart still down below, and then I would try to add 700 for this first product, and it would say, well, you only have space for 500 more products because I had 500 in a lower inventory item. So if all of your other products are one quantity, and you go, and you try to add 950, and it says, you only have space for 948, then that could mean that either they have more than 950, or you forgot to, reset your other products down to one quantity. So make sure that all of your products, except for the one you're actually trying to see how many inventory are left, are set at 1. Kevin, how do you write off VA costs on your taxes? Do you list them as official employees or cost of doing business, etc.? Depends how much you're paying them. Right? And so how I personally do it is I just use PayPal to pay so much of my stuff, right? And so my PayPal ledger at the end of the year will be, revenue in, expenses out, and that'll just come straight off of, what I'm actually paying taxes on for my profits. And so I pay all of my VAs via goods and services on a credit card. and I pay all of my affiliate commissions on goods or services on a credit card. And so, I'll have more than 1 million credit card points just from doing normal cost of business. So the more costs and expenses that you can put onto credit cards and earn points, right? Then you can start to travel for free. You can get rewards with hotels and a lot of stuff like that. And so I just do goods and services to pay my virtual assistants, and that just comes straight out of my revenue, right? Which makes my profit lower, which makes my tax burden a little bit lower as well. If the product you're selling has no risk, do you recommend getting an LLC? There's advantages of having an LLC, right? You never really know what has no risk. There's tax advantages, Alfie. Getting a professional seller account with an LLC is just a little bit, it's just the way that I've always done it. For $149 a year, an LLC is a very minimal cost, and so I would think that it's worth it for everyone to do. But if your budget's really tight and you think that it has no risk, the chances of getting sued over a product sold on Amazon is incredibly low, right? Like, let's say that you bought a baby product and your kid choked on it. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take your baby to the hospital and go home afterwards, or are you gonna go and contact Amazon, find the seller, find their name, find how to sue them in whatever state they live, right? It's just people are very lazy, and most people don't even know how to initiate a lawsuit. So the risk is very low, but LLC just, it makes me comfortable sleeping at night, so my personal assets aren't, on the table for people to actually go after, and it's a very minimal cost. So I would definitely recommend getting an LLC, and yeah, you can get it later on once you started if you'd prefer to do that. Kev, do you use the Keepa plugin? I've seen some people use the buy box data point, which also shows inventory for each within the Keepa graph to speed up the 999 trick. I'm wondering how accurate it is. Yeah, so I actually haven't told anyone this yet, Bjorn, but I just literally finished a Chrome extension for you guys that's going to make the 999 trick a little bit easier. So the problem with Keepa is that it's estimates, and it's much harder from an algorithmic perspective when there's outlying events, right? And so let's think about what those events would be. How do you show the 999 inventory level if they have more than 999, if they're fulfilled by merchant, if they have max order quantities, right? How do you actually register those events from the Amazon API via code, right? And so these different services give you estimations. And so, which is why you can use the Jungle Scout product tracker, you can use Keepa, you can use the new Chrome extension that I'm going to announce and release for free for all of you guys. There's a lot of different software out there, and most of it is estimates, which is why I always recommend manually verifying, your 999 numbers for 3 days before investing in a product, right? Because the worst case scenario is that you get some messed up numbers because maybe the product that you were tracking had a giveaway while you were watching them, and it looked like they were selling 150 a day, but they were giving 100 away, right? When 50 of those were real organic sales. So you want to make sure that before you actually invest in a product that you are manually verifying, the iTrack numbers at least for 3 days. What was your first big purchase when you started earning on Amazon? Bit off topic. My first big purchase, to be honest, I live a very frugal life. I never worry about, money. I never worry about, I go out to eat a lot. I guess that's that's the biggest way that I spend money. I buy a car every birthday of mine, but besides that, I really live very frugally. I still live with all of my best friends who, have jobs that earn them significantly less, and it really hasn't changed me that much, to be honest. I guess the biggest point, Alfie, is that I never worry about money. I never if I want to go out to eat, I go out to eat. If I want to go to a concert, I go to a concert, right? But other than that, my life is very similar. It's not like I went crazy and started buying a bunch of mansions and stuff. And so I live very frugal, but I do travel a lot, I guess, which is I'm very grateful for. But I didn't make any crazy purchases. I just buy one car a year on my birthday, which I guess is kind of crazy. Maybe, I don't know. Can I integrate my FNSKU barcode onto my product itself since it's going to be wrapped in clear plastic, or do I have to print it on the box or have a sticker? So you can use a poly bag, Matt. That's kind of what I recommend. You don't want to actually put the FNSKU like as a sticker on your product because it could fall off, or it could get crumpled up, or it could be whatever. There's just a bunch of different things that could happen, and it's just easier to just use a poly bag or use a box. But if you're not going to use a box, then you can just put your FNSKU on your poly bag. Any info about trademark? I haven't gotten one yet. What do you mean by that, Sue? So I mean, trademarks are good for if you have a trademark in registered mode, then you can you can get hijackers off your listing, right? You can be brand registered, which gives you access to enhanced brand content, which means you can add more pictures to your listing. It gives you access to headline ads without the need of AMS, right? And so having a trademark is very important. We're looking into ways to get your trademark faster, right? And so we kind of tested the state method, which didn't work. They shut that down very quickly. We are currently testing the UK, which we will come back and let you guys know as soon as we know whether or not a UK trademark actually allows you to be brand registered in the USA, but we don't know for sure quite yet. And so, I mean, if you're serious about Amazon, if you're serious about your business, I would go, so you mean where do you actually get one? I use Trademarkia. It's very cheap. The problem about registering a trademark for yourself is if you make one small mistake, then you have to wait like 6 to 10 months to even know that you made that mistake, and then you have to resubmit, right? And so Trademarkia is like an extra $150 or something like that. They run discounts all the time, and they really obviously know exactly how to do a trademark. It's literally all they ever do. And so it's worth it. I use trademarkia.com, Sue. What's up with the nationwide barcode? No good anymore. Do we need to get them from the GS1 site? So I still personally use nationwide barcode. Until Amazon does not allow me to, actually register and create a new product, then I'm not going to switch to GS1. I'm very confident in saying that Amazon is not going to retroactively apply GS1 to their product catalog. It would just crush their product catalog. It would bring down so many errors. It would just be unbelievably chaotic. And so eventually in the near future, do I see Amazon forcing people to use GS1 barcodes? Yes, I do. But as of right now, they haven't done that for everyone yet. They are starting to roll it out. We have seen, some signs of that. And so, whether that means that you go and create all of your products right now using nationwide barcodes, maybe that's an idea that you want to do. But I do in the somewhat near future, see Amazon actually mandating the usage of GS1 barcodes, but that has not rolled out to everyone yet. Hey, can you talk about how you use your card to accumulate miles to travel? Can you pay providers with a credit card? Yeah, I mean, I could have a whole Q&A on just using credit cards for points, Andrea. But I'll give you a basic kind of rundown. So the Chase Business Inc. Preferred Card gets 3 points per dollar spent on advertising, right? So I easily spend $150,000 a year on advertising, which is the maximum. So that's immediately 450,000 points just from advertising, which literally 80,000 points on United.com gets you anywhere in the world round trip, right? And so if you immediately make 450,000, right, that's almost, that's like 4 trips anywhere you want to go in the entire world immediately, or 5, right? And so, and that's just from using your card for advertising. So you can link all of your PPC costs on Amazon to a credit card. I show exactly how to do that in the course. If you're doing any type of Facebook advertising to your Amazon products, you want to use your Chase Business Inc. Preferred, right? And you can transfer all of these miles from Chase directly to United. 80,000 points gets you anywhere in the world for free, right? And so that's kind of the main way that I do it. But you also can use your credit card for PayPal to pay kind of the 30% deposit, which is another good way to, accumulate points as well. So any PayPal expenses that I have, goods and services, you can fund that payment using a credit card. And so that's another great way to pay virtual assistants, right? To pay for a deposit and things like that with your credit card, which again, helps you accumulate points, but you do have to have the rewards credit cards, and I know that's kind of a luxury that Americans have that some countries don't, but if you are from the USA, then there's absolutely no reason in the world that you wouldn't be taking advantage of these rewards credit card points. Thank you again, Britt. Micah, come to the Black Belt group and ask questions here. So referring to the GS1 barcodes you talked about earlier, will I still be able to use nationwide barcodes when making a new product listing? Yeah, so I answered this already, Bing, but I'll say it again. So basically, as of right now, Amazon has not rolled out the necessity of using GS1 barcodes, and so I'm going to keep using nationwide barcodes until they say, invalid, cannot make product listing. You are required to use GS1 barcodes, and so once that happens, then I'll buy GS1. But up until now, or as of now, they have not rolled that out to everyone, so I'm going to use I'm going to use nationwide barcodes until they force me not to. I wouldn't mind a new car every birthday. Yeah, it's nice, but it's kind of the one way that I'm irresponsible about money. Otherwise, I live very frugally. About points, could we maybe make a post with referral links for those applying the new CC? We can post our links here. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, what UR means here, guys, for those of you who don't know, is if you refer people to these credit cards, you can get referral bonuses. And if you guys want to, make posts and teach each other about credit cards for the referrals, then, I have no problem with that as long as it doesn't get like crazy spammy or anything like that. Since Amazon will be phasing out of the use of non-GS1 barcodes, can we create a bunch of new product listings on a variety of new products using non-GS1 barcodes to attempt to lock in the ability to use the non-GS1 barcodes? I did it, Ron. Whether or not it actually works, right? I did that exact thing. I didn't want to recommend it to everyone because it might not work. Amazon might say, they might somehow prevent you from doing that, but I really don't. If you have extra nationwide barcodes, I don't see any reason in the world that you wouldn't create a bunch of product listings and print out a bunch of FN SKUs, for future products that you're planning and things like that. Because it just doesn't, it doesn't make any sense. I think Amazon in the next few months will force everyone to use GS1, but all pre-existing product listings, I assume, will remain valid. So I think that's a great idea, Ron, and I did it myself, but I don't know for sure whether or not it'll work. But, I test a ton of different stuff just so I can try to figure it out for all of you guys. Kevin, so do you funnel all of your costs and revenue through PayPal linked to your Chase credit card? No, not all of my costs, right? Most suppliers won't let you pay the 70% portion of your payment via PayPal, just because the fees are so high for them. Normally, they want a wire transfer, and so 70% payments I can't unfortunately pay with a credit card as often as I'd like. But all of my employee expenses, right? All of my employees on Upwork, all of my virtual assistants I pay via PayPal. So all of those payments are on a 1.5 point per dollar spent credit card. All of my advertising expenses for Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Amazon, all 5, right, use my 3 point per dollar credit card, which is my Chase Inc. Business Preferred. And so, the points start to accumulate really quickly, guys. And if you're spending, as much money as I'm spending, which is, a good thing or a bad thing, because I'm spending a ton of money, you can easily accumulate 1 million points a year. And that basically means that you can take, 12 trips anywhere in the world, round trip, completely for free. So, it starts to add up really, really quick. And so, if you guys want to have a credit card, conversation, we can definitely do that. But I'm trying to keep this a little bit more Amazon centric. My voice is about to go out, so we've been on here for about an hour, but I will answer all of the rest of the questions that you guys type really quickly, but I'm probably going to get out of here in a few minutes. Have you paid through Alibaba Trade Assurance? The process of that seems complicated. And does the supplier apply the additional transaction fees in your total amount? Yes, I have paid through Alipay. Basically, what that does is it gives you a few levels of protection, right? So it's similarly to how goods and services gives you kind of the additional level of protection, right? Goods and services you can dispute, and PayPal either decides with you or against you. And then if they decide against you, you can dispute on your credit card. Similarly with Alipay, with Trade Assurance, what you do if you do choose to pay via Trade Assurance, you just need to make sure that you're communicating to your supplier via Ali messaging services, right? Because how Alibaba kind of determines who to side with in those disputes is based on what you kind of agree to via chat. So if you're going to pay via Trade Assurance, don't talk to your suppliers via Skype. You want to keep it all in Alibaba if you are going to go that route. Snapchat has advertisements. Yeah, they do. They're called swipe up ads. They have a ridiculous CPM right now. You can get engagements for like 5 cents when it's like multiple dollars sometimes on other ad platforms. Just because they're very new, their ad platform is very basic, and so they're incentivizing people to show a ton of impressions for very cheap. Right now, just because they're very immature compared to other platforms such as Facebook, and so you can get really ridiculous CPMs. But that's another conversation we could have. Thanks for all your hard work, Kevin. Appreciate it. All right, thanks, Alfie. Thanks, Sue. I'll see if there's any other questions really quick. 9 to 5 Escape, what's up? Ida, Kevin, what do I do if my top competitors are not showing? Oh, your question just disappeared because I got like 20 different things that all popped in at the exact same time. All right, I'll answer one more question and then I'm going to get out of here. With regard to trade assurance, it seems that it only covers your initial payment made to the supplier, but not the final payment. Trade assurance should cover everything, right? You can set it up in such a way that you can be covered for both of those. I generally side with PayPal just because I'm more comfortable with it. I really understand how to structure a PayPal down payment to be completely protected, right? And when you fund that payment on PayPal via a credit card, you're incredibly protected because you have two separate scenarios where you can dispute that payment if there is something that pops up. Hopefully there wouldn't be. Does Amazon FBA ship to your customers? Yes, absolutely. Derek Struggle, what's up, man? Buying your course in 2 weeks, entrepreneur, car enthusiast. Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Or woman, I'm sorry. Actually, I don't know for sure, but we're happy to have you. Are you still coming to Australia? Luke, yes, I am. I'm coming on November 11th. I land in Melbourne, I think, on November 13th because there's kind of like that time delay. So I'll be in Melbourne for a week or so, and then I'm doing the whole Gold Coast, the whole East Coast, and then I'm flying to New Zealand and doing the Kiwi experience all the way down to Queenstown, where I'm going to live with some friends for a second. And then I'm off to Europe for a bit. So, if you live in Australia or New Zealand, or if you live in Europe, then, I'll be around eventually. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys. Great info. Thank you for being real. Yeah, of course, Ryan. I'm trying to provide as best of information as I can to, help people out. All right, guys. My voice is about to give out, so I hope that helped you. For all of my students, I will be making announcements about NinjaCon this coming week. So stay tuned. Unfortunately, for the really cheap price tiers, we're only able to have, a few. So if you are interested in coming to NinjaCon, make sure that you stay, close to the Amazon FBA Ninja Black Belt group this week because we will be announcing it, and I am going to give away some fun prizes. So for one lucky ninja, we're going to be giving away some AirPods, which are Apple's cool little wireless headphones. And for one grand prize ninja, I'm to NinjaCon. And so stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to be giving those away this week, and we're going to launch NinjaCon this week as well. So I love you guys, and we will see you on the next Q&A. Have a good week.